Yo, yo, yo. What is up? How's everyone doing? How is the audio? How's the video? Let me know. As you guys know, I am not at home right now, so I'm dealing with some less than ideal conditions, but based on the amount of sheer upset from my last stream not having a webcam, mic quality is not good. Hold on one sec. Let me try something here, guys. Just gonna try something with the mic. Give me a half second.
How about now? Is that better? I think I fixed it. Is that better, guys? Let me know. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just had to change what mic was picking up the audio there. I apologize. So, I hope everyone's doing good. I literally went and bought a fucking webcam because you lunatics were in my messages saying, where is the neck? No neck cam, what the fuck? So it's good to know that I'm just a piece of meat to y'all, and all you really care about at the end of the day is the neck. So I went and bought a little shitty webcam because I'm going to be doing this one more stream here. Next week, all of my videos that I'll do, I'll be back at my home base, and I will be streaming from my normal setup. So I'll be very comfortable, you know, kind of going back and just being in my station. I mean, as much as it's fun to talk about, you know, trading, giving you this, you know, ultimate freedom to do whatever you want, stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, like I'm sitting by the pool here and stuff, and it's like I want to be at my desk, you know, staring at my 3 monitors, yeah, just kind of be in my zone, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back. But got one more stream here, and I want to get it out for you guys, even though I was on vacation. So it was my birthday the other day, so I apologize for not streaming on Sunday. But here we are. I'm old as shit now, and yeah, it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back in the charts here because I've not looked a ton I've not looked a ton at the charts, to be honest with you. In the last 7 days, I've been chilling. So market looks pretty shitty. So we're gonna get into stuff right away. We're gonna cover Bitcoin. We're gonna cover Ethereum primarily. I had trade setups that I gave you guys last week. Both of the shorts played out perfectly. So if you've been following along with the streams, both of the shorts off of the range lows ended up playing quite well. So I'll cover those in hindsight for those of you that did not take them or just kind of want to see my thought process on how I actually would have entered. I'll give that all to you, and we'll go from there, guys. So obviously, thank you for all the happy birthday messages. I appreciate it. Shout out to Bybit for sponsoring the stream as usual. So been working with Bybit for several months now. Really happy, with the partnership. They've been helping me out put these streams on. They're also going to be, I've got some big news here. They're also going to be sponsoring my altcoin videos that I'm going to be putting out. So starting next week, I will be doing 2 streams a week at least instead of just 1. I will be doing a stream solely on altcoins, and newsflash, none of them look good. And then my Sunday stream will be more focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those will be sponsored by Bybit as well. So really stoked to be working with the team there. They've treated me great. So link in the description. We're still running that deposit bonus campaign, or that bonus cash campaign, excuse me. All you got to do is click the link in the description. And there's several ways that you can earn up to $600 following Bybit on social media, depositing some Bitcoin, making a trade. You can win some dough. So highly suggest you guys check that out. And let's get into the charts because they don't look very good. Market looks kind of heavy. I know there's a little bit of buzzing in the back. I'm staying at my brother's house right now, and he's having his baseboards put in. So that hopefully won't be going on for too long. It should almost be done, but I apologize in advance. I'm literally doing this on vacation, so not ideal, but I'm going to do my best for you guys. All right, so let's get into it. So Bitcoin looking like absolute dog water. So not a very good look on the high time frame charts. I don't really know what time frame you can look at this thing and tell me that it looks super bullish. So what we're going to do here is going to start on the highest time frame, and then we will work our way down to the execution time frame, and from there we can kind of talk about some potential trade setups, whether they be long or short. I'll give you kind of my thoughts, and we'll go from there. So looking at the quarterly chart, so we had a new quarter start here, right? So we had April, right? April, May, June. So July is actually the start of a new quarter. So if you watch some of my old videos, I talk about using the opens as a way to determine your bias, whether it be for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year. This is something that I learned in the world of Forex that was very common. You would mark things like, the weekly open, the daily open, the quarterly, monthly open, and then you could use that to help set your bias for your trades. However you trade, if you're a scalper, you want to know where the daily open is, right? The logic behind that is if you're a scalper and we trade below the daily open early in the day and then get back above the daily open, you're going to want to be long biased, assuming that the low of the day is in. And vice versa for bearishness, right? If we trade above the daily open, get back below early in the day, you might think we're having a down day and the high of the day is in already. That same logic can be applied to any time frame. So you can do that with the daily, you could do that with the hourly, you could do it with the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, the yearly. You can do it on any time frame. And I highly suggest that you try and mark these levels out on your chart based on the time frames that you want to trade and just see how price interacts. What I've been doing over these last handful of streams for you guys is trying to give you easy ways to trade this chop, trade this range. One of the hardest things to do when the market is not trending in one direction, whether that be up or down, is to determine what your bias is. And in a ranging market, it can be difficult. You might be looking for longs in the wrong areas, shorts in the wrong areas. When we're in a monster uptrend, your bias is to the long side. It's simple. Monster downtrend, same thing. So when we're going sideways, we need to have a few more tools in our toolkit where we can now look at the market in a different way and use other tools to help determine our bias for the trades that we want to take. And so the first one that I gave up to you guys was the ranges, right? So if you use the ranges, which I've discussed in the last couple of videos, you can know that in the bottom part of the range, we look for longs. In the upper part of the range, we look for shorts, right? So this is another tool that you can use. You can use these opens to determine the range or the bias, excuse me, that you have for the trades that you're taking. So we have a new quarterly open here that we are going to just mark up. Okay. This is now a very simple bias level, right? Because if we are able to get back above the quarterly open, there's a chance that maybe the quarterly low is in, I don't know, but there's a reason on the high time frame to get long. All right? So we go down to the monthly, it doesn't really show you much detail. So on the 3-month chart, all I've done here is mark the quarterly open. The other levels of interest for me based on this high time frame chart really is all the way down here. And I know it's scary. I know it's scary to look at, right? I hate this pen. What is this? Look at this fucking squiggly bullshit. But this is the next area of interest for me based on the quarterly chart. I don't know if we go that low. I have no idea. But it is absolutely possible. ETH is dying. ETH is going to go to probably 1910 while we're on stream here. Just a heads up. We could come all the way down here. I don't know. I don't know if we will for sure, but it is absolutely within the realm of possibility. So have that in mind when you're looking for downside targets. The previous all-time high around 20K and then these previously monthly closes around 13K, absolutely within the realm of possibility. Do I want it to happen? Of course not. I want 30K to be the bottom and I want us to go up only forever. I think we all agree on that. Let's not argue over that. But you have to keep yourself open to all possibilities or you might ignore information in data that go against your bias, right? Let's assume for a moment that the top is in and we are entering a bear market that might last months, it might last years, right? Every single bear market, BTC has fallen from all-time high to its next yearly low somewhere between 80 to 90%, every single one. So let's assume that this is the top. Where is 80% down? Right around those highs there. It does not mean that this has to happen, but it could happen. So you have to be aware. If this is the top of this bull cycle, there is no reason to assume that this time will be different. Because every previous time has not been different, and every previous time we thought that time was going to be different. So what's the likelihood that if this is the top, this time is actually different? Could it be a super cycle? Could Michael Saylor save us? I don't know, maybe, but I'm just leaving the door open to that possibility. Because if I say that, like this guy in the chat right here, 10K BTC not happening, if that's in your mind, what happens if we get there? Are you too scared to buy it? Because you're like, well, I never thought this was going to happen, so we must be dead. You cannot speak in absolutes like that, right? You have that's for a Sith only. Only Siths speak in absolutes, right? You have to assume anything is fucking possible. Yes, guys, the stream is only in 720p. I'm sorry, I do not have my main computer. I'm operating on a ghetto setup right now. I literally bought this fucking webcam from Best Buy. You have to keep your mind open to any possibility. And the problem a lot of traders have is they speak in absolutes. That's like number one sign of a new fucking trader to me is when someone is on Twitter or in the chat telling me that something can't happen, right? Oh, it can't not go to, it has to go to 100K, right? It has to. It can't go to 10K. It can't drop. There will be no dumps. This is just the stupidest logic ever. What reason do you have that BTC cannot drop 85% off of all-time high? In fact, we have evidence from like 4 previous bull runs that it absolutely can do that. So why would you assume that it's not possible, right? I just don't get it. So let's just take a look, right? So let's go all the way back to here, right? So here's the first bull run. The first bull run. High to the low, 93%. Here's the second bull run. Right? High to the low, 86%. Here's the 2020 bull run, or the 2017 bull run, which many of you were here for. High to the low, 84%. So who is to say that if this is not the top, let's assume that this is, that we cannot drop somewhere in the neighborhood of 80%, which puts us at 12,000 per Bitcoin. Anything is fucking possible. The problem is a lot of people say, well, no, it can't happen. Well, it's happened 3 out of the last 4 times. Maybe this top looks a little different. Maybe this isn't the top. I don't fucking know. Like, my dream scenario is that we are here. The dream scenario is that we are here right now, right? That this is some sort of, big bull run, sideways consolidation, or big bull move, sideways consolidation, chop everyone up, and then run again, right? That's the dream scenario. But if it's not, if we're actually here, we can go down 80%, and that would be right in line with everything we've done in the past. And you got to realize as well, guess what? This big bull trap, whatever you want to call this 2013 fractal, where it went up, had a run, went sideways, and then had another run, the double bubble, this still dropped 80% before going on its next run. So to assume that we can't do that again, in my opinion, is just silly, right? It's just silly. Don't be a silly goose, okay? Don't be a silly goose. I apologize for the momentary buzzing here, okay? So, what are we looking at here now? Okay, Nickelback says, I mortgaged my grandparents' house to buy at 57K. Well, the good news is your grandparents are probably pretty old. You could just put them in a home at this point. Okay, so we have the 3-month chart. I said this is not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying that's where we're going immediately. I'm just saying be aware. We could go to 20K. We could go to 15K. So just know that and pay attention, because if we do get here, this is where you want to buy, right? Or at least look to buy. On the monthly chart, I've got nothing to add here, right? This is still your next area of interest. When we go down to the weekly, we get a little bit more detail, and we've been chopping around in this area of consolidation now for weeks. Who fucked with my box colors, man? Come on, brr. The opacity has to be almost 0. Okay, so we've been chopping around in this weekly demand for what feels like forever, right? In reality, we had the dump at the end of May. It's been about 2 months of sideways, crab market, chop, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it's not trending. That's what's important, right? So if you're trading high time frame, you haven't really had any high time frame signals to get in on. We've basically kind of chopped up both sides of the range, right? We had the move up, ran all the highs, back to the lows, ran all the lows, and we're in the middle here. And now we are looking potentially bearish. The thing is this week is early. It's only, what day is it? Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. So this candle could end up like this one. So it's too early to assume that we're going to 0. We don't know yet, right? However, what I do not like is that we are now trading below the quarterly open. And what you'll see when I zoom in one more time frame is this quarterly open actually lines up with the mid-range that we've been tracking for a while. So lots of confluence there. But we've basically battered this level, right? We came in. This was the rally you wanted, but you wanted this to sustain at least up to here, and then maybe a higher low. The fact that we've kind of come up, rallied, put in this big swing failure pattern at the top, and are now selling off doesn't inspire a ton of confidence to me. If we close below this low on the weekly chart, this is your weekly kind of low of interest that generated that SFP. If we close below there, I think that would be confirmation. And I know it's like, oh, it's at the bottom of the range, but that's the range low essentially. If we close below the range low, there's a very good chance that this thing, almost sneezed, has a quick move to the downside. So you've got to be very careful here. We're not seeing a ton of strength from the bulls after this initial move up. Kind of this rally got rejected and we're pushing right back into the lows, and we've now tapped these lows several times. So how many times is this support going to hold, right? So it doesn't look great. We're trading within this area still, but I don't like that we're below the quarterly open. I don't like how there's been no sustained rally, and I don't like how many tests of the lows we've had. So everything on the high time frame to me is pointing towards another leg down. How low that goes, I don't know yet, but I am expecting that if we break the range lows, we probably at least go into the mid 20Ks, and I'll show you where I get that level momentarily. But we've got to be ready for it, unfortunately. If there's a trigger to long the range lows, we long it. On the weekly chart, the easiest long setup, if you're like, okay, I'm not interested in trading the intraday, which is totally fine, right? You're like, I don't want to trade intraday. I don't want to trade low time frame. I'm getting chopped up. I'm getting destroyed. Wait for a high time frame signal. Wait for the high time frame chart to give you a clue that it actually wants to go up, because it hasn't done that yet. Not even close. What would be a high time frame signal that the chart wants to go up? I've marked it out on the chart here for you, but who can let me know? This is like asking for answers in class. We got 475 viewers. We got 65 likes. Let's pump those numbers up. Those are fucking rookie numbers. Come on. I'm nursing like a 4-day hangover. I'm so old. What's up, Matt from Singapore? Where's ICT? I don't know, man. He's not my dad. Is 30K the new 6K? Possibly. I've got something interesting to share with you on the lower time frames with regard to that. 3:30 a.m. in Singapore. You're a legend. Is ICT a scammer? I don't think so. I learned a lot from ICT. Mayne is a Sith. Only in my dreams, my friend. Buying 3-digit BTC. I'm not quite that bearish, my guy. BTC will never hit zero. Probably. That's probably true. This time it's different. Has to be true eventually. Sure. Shorter just to say you are poor. No, you're poor. Shut up. It's literally theoretically impossible. Check Dot. I can take a look at Dot. Mayne never skips neck day. That is true. Is ICT a scam or just exaggerating supply and demand? ICT system is very similar to supply and demand. He calls them order blocks instead of demand and supply. It's I think you're just arguing semantics at this point. Elliott Wave shows wave 4, so watching for a run like that with the good news coming post July 21st meeting of the big brains, Jack, Elon, and Woods. Do you really want like Jack and Elon and fucking Saylor and shit making decisions about fucking Bitcoin? I don't think I do. Someone cut that. What did I say? Was it funny? Okay. Yes, break the quarterly open, right? Super easy fucking trade. So if we are able to get back above the quarterly open, that's a super easy long trigger for you, right? There is your key SR level. And what are you going to do? You're going to wait for us to start trading above the quarterly open, and then you're going to go on your lower time frame, execution time frame, and you're going to look for some sort of setup to get involved in. So how does that look? We'll zoom in now. I'll give you some examples of what you can look for if you want to get in a long based on us regaining the quarterly open. The quarterly open is actually pretty much bang on with my mid-range that I've been tracking as well. So you got lots of confluence there. So what could happen? We could run these lows, come up, and then, oh my God, you piece of shit. We could run these lows, come up, and then get above the quarterly open. Maybe I'll try this, right? We could come down and then up, right? Oh God, what the fuck? Right? Something like this. We trade above it, you wait for the pullback. This is where you zoom in and you look for your setup. This could also go lower, right? We could have a dip down into here and then get above. But if you're looking for a high time frame trigger in the month of July or August to get on board on longs, let's break above the quarterly open, okay? Now, where would you target on the upside based on the high time frame chart? Right here and right here are the areas of interest for me for any sort of move to the upside to get potentially capped. Because we could come down, come up into here, and then reject again, right? So anything is possible, just be aware. But these are going to be areas of interest, right? This is previous support becomes resistance, right? Previous support becomes resistance. So any sort of move back up here, this is kind of where I'm targeting. We could go as high as, the low 50s into this block here. But let's get above the quarterly open before we start talking about 50K targets and whatnot. All right. So I'm going to delete this here, and I'm now going to take us down to the 12-hour. And what you're going to see here is this quarterly open level has given you a setup to trade to the downside already that is in line with the range that we've been tracking. So as you can see, we've come up into the quarterly open. Right here is when the quarterly open was set, right? The month of June. So the quarterly open was set right here. We came up, ran above it, back below. There is your short opportunity. And here is a second short opportunity. Everything is here, right? There is your risk. So we ran above the quarterly open, broke down, bearish retest to the underside. That is a short 10 out of 10 times because your risk is defined right there, right? Your risk is defined right there. And then if you miss that short, well, what do you have here? You have literally a second short setup right into a bearish order block that breaks market structure. So there's your bearish order block that broke us down. Bang, there's your retest, and we're now selling off. And this is like ICT trader Mayne type of setup 101. Your risk is either here or you put your stop in the second setup here. So the aggressive sell is the first one. Above the quarterly open, back below, retest it, short it with your stop there. The confirmed sell is this second one because not only do you have a bearish retest of the quarterly open, we now have a lower high, and we have a break in market structure, a pullback into the break in market to the block that broke the market structure, and a sell-off. That is Trader Mayne 101 kind of setup that I show you guys week after week. When I say I want to see this happen at a level, right? I want to see bullishness or bearishness, and I'll always draw this little graph, right? I'll say, okay, I want to see this, and then I want to get in, right? That's this, but on the inverse, right? I want to see us come into a level, right? Break market structure, you sell the rip, boom, stop there. That fractal that I show you guys for how to enter trades, these are entry techniques. That is it playing out to perfection right there in front of your eyes. And this is a level that I've given you guys in advance. Sorry. Right? I gave you guys this area in advance, but I didn't give you the quarterly open. What I gave you guys was the range. I gave you guys the range, right? Remember this? Look at the mid-range. It's effectively the same level. I mean, obviously it's $1,000 different, but if you look here, the setup that played out is the exact same. Ran the mid-range, broke market structure to the downside, pull back into the order block that broke market structure and sold off. And then it gave you a second setup as well, right? Rejected from the mid-range, broke market structure, pulled back into the order block, boom, and then a third attempt. They're just walking this right down with the same entry setup each time. There's your first order block right here. There's your second order block right there. There's your third order block right there. This is all based on the 12-hour chart, right? This is all based on the 12-hour chart using one range, which we've been watching for literally 2 months, and we've taken, I don't even know, 7 or 8 trades, like nailed them. I've missed one trade in this entire range where I actually got it wrong, and it was longing here on this pullback. So we had this trade, longed here, got stopped out. We had this trade into here. I had the run of the initial range here. Like, we've done all of these on stream, all of them on Twitter using this exact same range. And the market is showing you that it is being capped here and it's being pushed down, right? When that is a bearish sign, right? We're making lower highs. Eventually, we will make a big lower low. But it's the same setup, right? It's that classic trader Mayne, ICT style, pull back into a bearish order block, short. And it happens to also line up perfectly with the quarterly open. This was our initial range as well. Remember this? Remember? And if I have this initial range, it's even closer, right? But I tightened the range up like 2 videos ago. So here is your long trigger. A move above here is a long trigger, or a sweep of the low, right, is a long trigger. Could you blindly long the range lows again? Absolutely, right? But just remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to long the 5th test of support? You can, right? There's no rule where it's like, oh, it's been hit 5 times, it's going to break. The logic behind it is the more taps at a level, the weaker that level becomes. But if this is really an area of accumulation, it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter how many times it hits it. It's okay, because as long as there's demand there, the level will keep holding, right? But what the worry is that this level is getting weaker. That's the worry. So the safe long, there's 2. Above the mid-range and the quarterly open, I think is a very safe long, up to at least 40K, hopefully higher, right? Any sort of breakdown and reclaim of the low, like this, breakdown, reclaim. That's a long into here, right? Or if you want to be ballsy and you just want to bid down here, by all means, you can. You could start filling longs at 31.5 all the way down. And, I don't know, does your stop go here? Does your stop go way over here? We're mighty close to this low and we haven't run it. So I don't know. The problem I have with just blindly bidding the range low is I don't have risk. I don't know where that idea is wrong. So I'd rather wait for some sort of setup like this. Because once this happens, we break down and then we pull back. When I long here, I know that I'm wrong here, right? So if I have a risk-defined setup, now I'm more confident entering in with size. Whereas here, I'd just be averaging in, and I don't really know where that idea is wrong, right? So it's a little sketchier, probably not as confident of a trade. For me, however you trade is however you want to fucking trade at the end of the day, right? So the safe play is get above the quarterly open. Like, we want to talk 40K, 50K, whatever. Let's get above here, okay? That's going to be a super key area. But right now, I don't love this price action. We're rejecting the mid-range. We're making lower highs. Bearish order blocks are being respected. It makes me think that we are going to get a flush maybe early this week. And then maybe the flush, then boom, now I'm long, right? So everyone trades differently, but I've been showing you guys how I trade for like almost a year now. In August, it will be 1 year of me doing a stream every Sunday, which is crazy. So hopefully you guys have learned something in all this time of me yelling at you. So yeah, I think that covers Bitcoin. I mean, short scenarios. What is the short scenario here? If we get some sort of pullback, like first of all, if we break this low here, We're just looking for a continuation of this trend. If we break this low here, guess what? A pullback into here is your short with your stop up there. That's your short setup, right? Wait for it to break down. Wait for the pullback. Short it. And now all of these little setups that I showed you here can be dialed in on the low time frame. So I'm going to give you a little bit of sauce here just to end the BTC section, and then we will get into Ethereum because I know if everyone is wanting to see Ethereum. So I will give you a little bit of sauce on the low time frame here, okay? And then we'll get into Ethereum. I'll take a quick look at the chat, see if there's any questions or anything like that. Okay, so any of these shorts, right? Any of these shorts. Let's take this one, for example, right here. You could take this on the 12-hour as is, right? This setup is valid as is. Your entry is here. Your stop is here. Your target is the range low, right? So it came up, retested the level, you get filled, sells off. Your target actually is here for a break of the low. So even on the H12, we're getting a 2.5 R or just over a 2 R, right? But you can dial this in to the lower time frame to get a tighter risk reward. You have to remember we're range bound. So we can come here and then we can go all the way here, we go all the way here and then back down. This can range for another month. We have no idea, right? We have no idea. So we have to have range bound targets. Just because you shorted here, it doesn't mean you hold this to 20K, even if it's going there, right? You can leave a piece on, you can trail your stop, but you have to have range bound profit taking objectives and range bound entries because that is the environment that we are in right now. So until that changes, you need to adjust your trading to be in line with that. So if we're getting short in the lower part of the range, which is counterintuitive, we have to be ready to take profit here and take profit here because there's a chance that at the range low, we can reverse. And the last thing you want to do is catch a great long entry here and then never close it because you think we're going to 40K and end up round tripping it right back to your entry. You don't want to do that, all right? So this is a decent trade as is, just to the low. However, if you want to dial this in and get a tighter risk reward, i.e. a higher risk reward, you can zoom in, right? So what I'll show you here, just for the little ICT fanboys like myself, if I pull my fib from here to here, I'm gonna delete this big fib. I'm gonna delete this just for clarity. So remember my video from like 4 or 5 weeks ago? I talked about the range within a range. Go on my YouTube. The video is called Ethereum and Chill Range Trading. And I give you a whole bunch of tips on trading within the range, where you're looking for highs, where you're looking for longs, shorts. I give you a whole bunch of alpha in there. Within this range, right? This is also a relevant range. So from a day trader's perspective, well, what do we have here? This is your trade on the 12-hour. This is also a 12-hour range. What is going on up here? We just hit the OTE of this mini range. Where do I want to be looking for shorts in a range? In the upper part. There it is. What else do we have here? We have the OTE getting tagged. We have the 12-hour order block getting tagged. We have bearish market structure. And we have a 12-hour swing failure pattern, all within this little mini range. So this is a high probability trade, that trade that I showed you there. But what you can do is you can zoom in. So now this is our 12-hour range. This is our 12-hour order block. The 12-hour entry would have gotten triggered here with your stop here. Because when price broke down, you set your entry at the edge of the OB. Your stop is up here. But on the hourly, can you not see a better setup here to get involved in this down leg? I do. Do you see it? Where is the tighter setup? So remember, the 12-hour setup is based on this range. We come up into the OTE, stop above the high, right? Bang it. We're entered here. Our stop is here. Our target is here. What is the better trade? Based on, I'm going to give you a clue here, based on the hourly. Does anyone see it? Let's go. 170 likes. You guys are legends. Hi from Belgium. What's up, bro? Is he your uncle? Is who my uncle? Matt Damon? No. I was at a Coldplay concert, right? I was at a Coldplay concert in Los Angeles. And I was sitting in like the friends and family of the band section because I know the guitarist. Not the guitarist, the bass player. Not nearly as cool. So he got me tickets into the friends and family section. And I was sitting next to Matt Damon, James Corden. There's a bunch of celebrities in there. And so I asked Matt Damon for a pic because I think he's awesome. And I was very baked in the picture. It's pretty obvious. My eyes are like fucking just like half open. But as I progressively got drunker during the concert, I started yelling out, "How do you like them apples?" at him from a distance. And I like, in hindsight, I felt really bad about that. But that was cool. Are heuristics like everyone is bearish, so it's likely to go up for max pain, reliable, applicable? The problem with those types of statements, everyone is bearish, everyone is bullish, everyone is that. I mean, I tweet that kind of shit because it gets good engagement because people like being like, haha, everyone is doing this and it did the opposite. But at the end of the day, there's no really accurate way to encompass everyone. Right? Like, who is everyone? Is it just the people you follow? Well, what if you follow just a bunch of really good traders and all of them are bearish and they end up being right? Right? Or what if you follow a bunch of normies who are always bullish? So there's not really a good way to figure out who everyone is, right? So I do think that those kind of things are silly, right? If the market wants to go down, it doesn't matter if everyone thinks it's going to go down. It's going to go down, right? It will fuck people up along the way with fake outs and things like that. But yeah, generally, I think those types of statements of like everyone says this is just more for clout on Twitter. And I say that as a clout fucking, a clout chaser on Twitter. Yo, Mayne, can I send you a custom neck NFT? Sure, DM me. Matt Damon. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Nickelback just said Daddy Mayne. Gross. I ain't your daddy. Your daddy is the devil. Amazing. God. It's also very similar to Trader Vic's 2B setups. I don't know who Trader Vic is, but sounds good. Can you tray flip on skate? If you're asking me if I can tray flip skateboarding, the answer is absolutely not. If you're talking about the video game Skate, I'm actually fucking incredible at that game. So yeah, I can fucking tray flip on Skate. Go to the Kangaroo Creek Farm just south of Oyama. I've been there before. This guy says BTC crash doesn't make sense in an inflation crisis. This looks deliberate. My guess is that people behind the Great Reset are destroying free crypto. I don't know, bro. I'm not quite as tinfoil hat as you, where I think, that they're trying to like genocide people and, reset the planet to one world order. But maybe, I don't know. Alex Jones has been right about crazier shit. So, yeah, I agree with 3 Axes Capital here. I believe crypto is a risk-on asset in line with the stock market. Yo, what's up, Pika? I took all the shorts. Perfect, man. Legend. Look at you go. Is the order block from the wicks or the body? I used the entire candle. Terrifying. Going all in short right now. You guys are funny. Okay. See, the thing is, so everyone's like, where's the big money buying? Where's the smart money buying? Like, at the end of the day, right, your time horizon on your investment, your liquidity, your ability to buy the dip and average down is not in the same stratosphere as, you know, maybe big money or institutions. You know, when people have deep, deep, deep pockets and a time horizon of years to decades, you know, like maybe Michael Saylor is right about crypto, right? And it's going to take over the world. And he's going to be the richest man on it because of all the Bitcoin he's bought. What if that doesn't happen for 10 years, right? And he's okay with buying anything sub 50K because in 10 years it's going to be 500K, right? But that isn't really relevant for you who's looking to, you know, try and turn your a few $1,000s into, you know, tens of thousands or tens of thousands into hundreds of thousands. You don't have the ability usually to just keep buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. So you have to be a little bit more accurate and deliberate on where you want to buy, where you want to sell. I mean, if you're just a holder, right? The best thing you can do is do what I said at the start of the video. Every single top has seen an 80+% decline. So once your favorite coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, starts dropping 80% off the high, maybe it's time to look at start buying, right? If you would have just done that at the last all-time high. So here, if you would have just waited for an 80% drop, you wouldn't have caught the top or the bottom, right? But pretty damn close. Right? So let's say you just start buying at 80%. So as soon as it hit 4,000, you just started buying. Yeah, you didn't get the bottom, but like how stoked would you be if your average price was even here? Like even at 6K, let's just say you're like, okay, fuck it. We're down 70% from all-time high. I do think we'll go on another bull run eventually. If you're just a holder, like you fucking crushed it buying at 6K. You probably outperform most traders. Right? So you got to know what you're in this for. Are you a trader? Are you an investor? Are you just a holder? Are you a combination of all of it? That's up to you, man. Okay. I'm going to... Mayne, we know you're at your brother's house because you bet your house on Litecoin and lost it all. It's okay. You're with friends. You don't need to lie. That's the most accurate thing anyone has ever said about me. Thank you. I feel better now that that's out in the open. Okay, I'm going to just get back to talking here because this thing's getting a little bit out of control. Okay, so what was the low time frame setup here? I didn't really see anyone answer it. Crypto Whale, I see you spamming the same coin over and over again, bro. It doesn't make me want to chart it any more than if you would have just said it once. The 12-hour setup was clean, right? Boom, boom. You could exit that 12-hour setup here right now. You could, if you took this short, you exit some now, you leave some on for a run of the low. Excuse me, almost just died. The low time frame setup, what do we have here? 12-hour SFP right into what? Right into the OTE, which is also, this is your 12-hour order block. What do we have within the 12-hour order block, right? For the Trader SZ fans, here's that 12-hour SFP. There's your deviation. Once we break back below there, boom, you're in, right? This is now, once this closes down here, that 12-hour candle just closed. Now your stop is here. Your entry is better. Your stop is tighter. Your risk reward is higher. Now to here, we've got a 5R trade, which previously on the 12-hour was only a 2R. because we've zoomed in and we've tightened up our risk. And we have even more pieces of confluence here. Within the 12-hour deviation SFP, you have a 1-hour SFP. You could have traded it based on this, and your stop goes there. Now, once that 1-hour candle closes here, there's your entry. There's your stop. This is an even tighter trade. Now a 5-hour trade becomes almost 7-hour. Within all of this, too, what do we have to the left? There is your 1 hour. So this is the 12-hour order block here. Within the 12-hour order block, you have your 1-hour order block. This is the point of origin for this move down that created this range that broke market structure. And again, we now have a range here on the hourly, which is a fractal of the range on the 12-hour. So you have from that high to this low. Pull back into the 1-hour order block. I'm just going to get rid of this range. Oops, because it's making me dizzy. Boom, clean as shit. There's your 12-hour SFP. There's your deviation into the 1-hour order block within the 12-hour order block into the OTE with the 1-hour swing failure pattern. So now on the lower time frame, you can get dialed the fuck in, and all of a sudden it's not a 2-hour trade. But that's up to you. If you're working a full-time job and you don't want to be looking at the hourly chart for this to set up, you don't fucking have to, right? You can be looking at the 12-hour, you could check the chart 3 times a day. But if you're in front of the screen all day, you can get a tighter entry. And your target doesn't have to be as far because your entry is tighter. Your 1-hour T1 is here. It's not all the way down here. It's right here, right? And within this, we can go even lower. Price is fractal. What do we have within the 1-hour order block? What is the point of origin of this entire down move? It's here. Oh God, what the fuck just happened? Here's your little 15-minute candle. Look at that. You want to talk about fucking accuracy? There's your point of origin. 12-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute. Here is your 12-hour SFP. Look where the top forms in that 15-minute order block. And you get a 15-minute SFP. And you get a pullback into the bearish order block, all within this little realm of PA. So all I'm showing you here is how do you get dialed the fuck in, right? The first thing you need to know is where am I looking for the price action that I want to form? And then you focus on that area and you look for your setup. There was the SFP setup, there's the range setup, there's the bearish order block setup. There's multiple entry techniques, but the first thing you need is an area to pay attention to. And that's what I've been trying to show you guys over the last handful of videos using the range concept. And today with the quarterly open concept, where do I pay attention and where do I look for my setups? Because when we're in a clear trending environment, I know that every time we make a new high, I'm looking to long a pullback. And vice versa. Every time we make a new low, I'm looking to short a pullback. But when we're going sideways, it's a little bit more difficult. You're going to say, okay, well, this kind of looks bullish, and then it goes back. Oh, it kind of looks bearish, and then it goes back. So you need to know, using the stuff I've explained to you, okay, well, we're potentially looking for shorts here, potentially looking for longs here, right? Using the mid-range as a pivot. And then zooming in and finding setups in our areas of high probability, because now I have a bias here to the short side, and then I can drill into whatever time frame I want and dial in this entry like a motherfucker and bang out a 5 or 6 hour trade within a chop range, right? So hopefully that made sense, because that is a lot of fucking PA alpha for you right there. You can build with what I've shared with you guys from like a few weeks ago with the ranges into this shit, you can build an entire strategy around. The problem is it's very easy for me to show you this because I've seen this literally thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So I know what candles to focus on. I know where to look. The problem is when you're new, right? You're not seeing this shit all the time. So it's going to take you some screen time on your own to actually get comfortable seeing this shit. I cannot do it for you. I can show you what to do, but at the end of the day, right, I can show you the door. You got to walk through it. So I've given you guys this kind of fucking alpha for months and months and months. If you go back and watch previous streams, I talk about these exact same concepts. So I highly suggest, not just for the sake of pumping up my YouTube views, which you should do, go back, watch these videos over again, watch this video over again, and then go into your charts and try and replicate it. Find the key levels, practice, screen time, and then it's going to be like second nature. You're going to be able to pull up any chart and you're going to be like, okay, we're bearish. There's my bearish order block. Zoom in, dial it in, and boom. So there you go. That's Bitcoin broken down from literally the quarterly chart all the way down to the 15-minute chart with an entry. And obviously, we'll just quickly cover where we're going now, even though we already have. Okay. So is everyone good? Okay. Everyone's good. That was very educational, I hope. Again, we're big bullish if we can get above the quarterly open, above the mid-range. For now, I do expect this low to get taken. This is the range lows. This is the area where we're potentially looking for reasons to get bullish. Whether you want to blindly long that is up to you. Otherwise, wait for some sort of flush. And then if we get some sort of reclaim similar to this, that's another easy long trigger. On the short side, if we break this low here, a pullback into here would be a short for lower prices with a stop there. All right, boom, dusted. Please let me know in the chat if that fucking made sense to you guys, because I feel like I sounded super smart there, but sometimes I never know for sure. Yes, I know the screen could be sharper. I'm not at home right now. I will take a look at Axis. I don't really want to because I missed the long, but I'll take a look at it. I'm just going to cover Ethereum quickly next. As long as I sound smart, that's all that matters. Hidu, Jojo Mayne, can you explain why the quarterly monthly open is so important? Go watch the start of the video, bro. I explained exactly why it is important. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to look at Ethereum, and then I'll come back to the chat. If there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer it, and then we'll end it, and I'll go back on vacation. This guy says, disagree, bro. That long trend is turning into a rising wedge. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know how there's anything to disagree with. I said you could go long or short, and I gave you scenarios, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. One thing real quick to pay attention to here. This, you know the bouncy ball meme? Remember the 6K floor, right? Where we were all like, okay, 6K. Oh, God, why you do this to me, you piece of shit, right? The bouncy ball, where the bounces got weaker and weaker and then finally broke down. We kind of have that going on here. The only thing is we have one high that went higher. But otherwise, right, each bounce from the lows here is getting weaker. So other than this one, which you could just argue is a deviation, we're getting weaker bounces, right? Deviation there. But then weaker bounce, weaker bounce, weaker bounce, weaker bounce. So there is an argument to be made, right, that this floor is going to fall out pretty soon here. So you do want to be careful with that. Just be aware that, you know, this is not looking strong. We need to get above the mid-range, get above the quarterly open, which would make also a higher high just from a market structure perspective. ASAP. Otherwise, the likelihood of this breaking down, I think, is high. I do think that we get volatility soon, right? Like, this is coming to a point here, right? Volatility is getting less and less and less and less. So, I mean, maybe this does one more, but eventually we are going to get a move to the upside or to the downside very soon. So, prepare your anuses for volatility. All right? Sorry, bro, I don't understand it. Yeah, you got to go watch the fucking start of the video, buddy. I go over it in detail. Discord is in my Twitter bio. Click on my yacht, and you can get into my Discord. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Dubseva. Aaron. Yes, Mayne. Tell him, bruh. Any analysis, correlation with the dollar? We can look at the dollar, sure. What do you think about footprints and order flow auction theory? I know it works because I'm in Discords with some very smart people who use it, but I personally have no experience using it other than just like a very, very cursory entry-level knowledge, right? I don't have any sort of deep understanding of that stuff. It's way too big brain for me. I just draw lines and boxes. Little run of the low here. Right? Maybe this is the catalyst to set us up for the 12-hour sell here, right? Here's our 12-hour area of interest. So we've got the run of the low here. Maybe, right? Did we run this low too? Yeah, we ran both of these lows. So this might be the low of the day now that's in right here. And perhaps we get relief. But this is our 12-hour area where we want to potentially sell. So if we run up into here and give some sort of short trigger like this or something, right? You're going to want to short it here, stop there, something like this. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll draw this too. I'll draw this too. So let's see if we get a little bit of a rally after running all of these lows here to the downside. Okay. Bull div SFP printing on the low time frames. I just marked that up. So yes, I agree. How probable is the 80% off the high scenario? I have no idea. I just know that every single bear market we've had, we've done that. So gonna look at Ethereum now, guys. I just went to the Gulf Islands and realized that there's an island named Mayne. There's a Mayne island. We gotta buy that shit, guys. How much can it cost? I'll open up a GoFundMe. We'll buy the island and I will set up a crypto commune. No taxes and no pants. Yo, what's up, Trader XO? How you doing, man? Okay, cool. So, let's look at Ethereum now. Ethereum looks bad. Right, so we'll do the same kind of analysis on Ethereum. This chart is so fucking funny, it's unbelievable. So just like on Bitcoin, we have to be aware. We have to be aware. As much as you might not want to believe it, as much as you might hate it, you have to be aware that it is possible for price to come and retest these old levels. And I know we don't want to talk about it. I know it's scary. But at the end of the day, if the bear market low for Ethereum is 700, yeah, it sounds awful, but the last one was 80, right? So it's almost 10x higher than the last bear market low. So that's not so bad. You know, and if Ethereum is going to 10K one day, like, don't you want to buy it at $700? Like, you know, it's no different here, right? Everyone was like, oh, fuck, Ethereum under 100 again and it's dead forever. And instead, it was the buying opportunity of a fucking lifetime. So you have to be aware. This is ugly as shit. So quarterly, right? Where's our quarterly open here? Way up there. So the exact same logic. So be aware that we could come down to like 1,000. We could come down to fucking like 700 on Ethereum and then go up again. Because if we're going into a bear market, altcoins can drop 70, 80% from the high or even more. 84%, 83% puts us at 735. Right? What was the all-time high here? What was the low? Ethereum dropped 95% last bear market. Yeah, over 90%. So 80% puts us at 700. What if it drops 90%? That puts us in like the mid 300s. It sounds terrifying. It is, but that's still well above that last low. Still well above that last low. So as much as it might freak you the fuck out, that big ass drop puts you in an area of this range where you want to fucking buy. I'm not saying that this is going to happen for sure, guys. I do not fucking know, right? I'm just saying if Bitcoin is going sub 20K, Ethereum can go sub 1,000, right? And all I'm doing here is just using what's happened in the past to potentially predict what might happen in the future. If you're of the super cycle mindset where you don't think we can have an extended bear market, where you don't think we can pull back 80% anymore because of reasons, right? Maybe you're right. But at the end of the day, the people promoting super cycle have been shorting the shit out of the market for the last few months. So keep that in mind. Three Arrows Capital, I think Suzu is great for the space. I think he's smart as fuck. But he runs a trading firm. Don't forget that. Like, his number one goal is to make money, not to help you. And at the end of the day, he did. He called the bottom on DeFi. He called the bottom on ETH. But his number one goal is to make him and his company more money, not to make you money, right? So just keep that in mind. So no different than Bitcoin. Let's speak hypothetically here and assume that this is the top of this market cycle and we are going to have a bear market before another rally. If Ethereum does anything like the last bear market, let's assume we drop 90%. That puts us around $500. Terrifying, I know. Can it happen? Yes. Will it happen? I have no fucking idea. What do we have here of interest? This, right? This would be the SR flip right here, right? This is your key area that broke us down. Once we broke through, we went parabolic. So logically, if we come back to this area, this is an area where I buy as much Ethereum as I possibly can. I don't know if it goes this low. I don't know. But I'm just saying, be aware. Maybe we only come to here, right? Maybe we come to here. Maybe we never go back below the all-time high, right? Maybe that's where the low is. I do not know. But the bottom line is if Bitcoin goes down sub 20K, Ethereum is going to go down hard as fuck and probably even harder. And there would be not surprise me in the slightest to see it below $1,000 again. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I would much rather this. 100 times more. I would much rather this. And I would be prepared for this too. But you need to have a plan for both scenarios, right? Don't be pigeonholed into thinking that we can't drop. And then when we do drop, you have no fucking plan. The reason you act emotionally, the reason you fuck up, the reason that you FOMO is because you have no plan. When you have no plan, that's when emotion gets into your trading and it fucks you over. I'm on a fucking heater today, boys. So what else do we have here of interest on Ethereum? Right? There's your fibs for this huge range. Your fibs are right around here. So this is kind of right in line with kind of previous all-time high, right? $1,000 being a key psychological level. So any sort of wick down here, I think is an insta-buy. I think it's an insta-buy. So I don't know. This is possible. Just be aware. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is possible. And so is this. So be prepared for further downside. I don't know if it will happen, but if it does, you need to be aware. Okay? What is the plan for the upside? Because that's way more fun to talk about. Well, exact same as Bitcoin, and look at the confluence here, is we are going to be paying attention to the quarterly open. Quarterly open. Had to check my spelling because I am dyslexic. If you zoom back in, right, where's our level of interest here? This huge range. The mid-range is effectively bang on the quarterly open. So you want an easy long trigger for Ethereum? Let's get above there, right? So instead of being like, oh my God, Mayne said buy at 1,000. If we reclaim here, I'm going long because then I think we'll get some relief, right? So quarterly open and the mid-range of this entire move are essentially the same level. They're off by like $40. So if we get above there, what would it also do? It would make a higher high. This would be a pretty easy long trigger for me, right? So you have to be prepared for either scenario. There's no reason you need to sit here and say, oh, we're going to 1,000, or oh, there's no way we go to 1,000. Because in that instance, if you're wrong, you have no plan. So you're better off just being a realist. Forget about the price, being like, oh, but it's Ethereum, and Ethereum, 1559 is coming out, and fucking Suzu said up only, and these people said super. Like, who fucking cares? Look at the chart. What is price action telling you? The market is not going to lie to you. People on Twitter will lie to you, right? People on Twitter have ulterior motives. That's why you need to build the skills to make your own fucking decisions. I'm like getting mad at you guys for nothing. It's so funny. I'm passionate about you guys getting rich. I care. I promise you, I care more about you making money than anyone on Twitter. Well, maybe that's not true, but I do care. That's why I'm so passionate right now. So just be aware. Huge ass range. This is a super clear level for bullish for me. So just like we had on Bitcoin, the quarterly open here, exact same concept here. We get above that quarterly open. Absolutely, let's get bullish for higher prices, or at least for some relief. It doesn't mean we're going back to all-time high, but at least that's a very clear level of invalidation to be bullish. Okay? Now, I'm going to get all my drawings back here, like the old-fashioned way, because I am stupid and I don't know how to work TradingView after years of using it. Okay, so here's my initial range that I've been working with. Just like on Bitcoin, we've had the same range for 2 months. We've had the same range on Ethereum for months now. So unfortunately, we came up. This was last stream here, guys. This was the last stream. I gave you this exact setup. Go watch the last stream. I marked out this order block. I said, if we reject here, you short it. That's exactly what fucking happened. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people probably were long right into the mid-range here. So I'm going to throw on the quarterly open again here, just so we have it. And just like on Bitcoin, the quarterly open is sitting just below our active mid-range, right? So this is our mid-range on Bitcoin. There's the quarterly open. Exact same situation here on Ethereum. So what is the long trigger? Last week, I told you we were trading right at the mid-range on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I said, do not long into the mid-range. Wait for us to break out and get a pullback. Above the quarterly open, above the mid-range, same shit happened here. I said, this is what I want to see to long Bitcoin. Right? That's what I wanted to happen here. We were up into the mid-range. People were trying to long it. I said, wait, let it break out, show you that it wants to go higher, then you buy the dip. Right? I was looking for this kind of a fractal to play out. Instead, it rejected. So same shit happened here on Ethereum. We had a bunch of people getting bullish right into resistance, and lo and behold, price rejected. So you have a very clear level to get bullish on Ethereum here, right into the mid-range, right? At the start of the stream, by the way, I said Ethereum's going to 1910 on stream. It went to 1914. So you're welcome. Fucking hurt my wrist in the gym again, or my arm. I have like this crazy pain in this tendon here, and whenever I grip and then let go, it fucking hurts, and I don't know what to do. It's been like a week and it hasn't gotten any better. I'm like gonna go to physio and they're gonna be like, oh, rest it and put ice and don't work out for 6 weeks. It's like, yeah, right, bro. I'm over 30. If I don't work out for 6 weeks, I'll be 300 pounds. So there's your long trigger, right? Above the quarterly open, above the mid range. But we had a short setup play on Ethereum to a T. So go watch last week's video, which I believe I did on Monday. Bearish order block that sent price down, broke market structure. We came right back into it. Everyone got bullish, right into resistance, and we gave you the exact same fucking work. Everyone who's calling this range untradeable chop, like to me, the price action has been fucking clean as a whistle. Like you see Trader SZ crushing it, right? The guy's been on fire, but that's because, like me, I mean, I learned a ton from Trader SZ. Shout out to him, first of all. I learned a ton from him trading Forex. And in Forex, you get a lot of range-bound price action, right? So when it comes to this kind of ranging environment, the dude is an absolute slayer. But to me, this PA's been clean as fuck. What do we have here? Within our bigger range, we have our smaller range. We have price pull back into our 12-hour order block, which is also right in line with our mid-range of the bigger range. We come up into it. We give one test, pull back, another test with an SFP. So you could short the first test with your stop here, right into the OTE, right? Or you could short the SFP, right? Because when I gave you this level last week, I said, look for signs of rejection. This is what I'm talking about. There's a 12-hour swing failure pattern into our level. That is a sign of rejection. Could have shorted the SFP. So as soon as this candle closes, you short it, stop above the high. Nailed it. Or what do? Same shit that I explained to you on Bitcoin. You zoom in. Can we dial it in? Can we get a lower time frame entry? Within our 12-hour block, right, we've got our hourly. Within our hourly block, we've got an hourly swing failure pattern, an hourly SFP. There's your deviation of the 12-hour high. We've got a breakdown and a retest on the hourly into another hourly order block here. So there's, again, multiple setups. And all you had to do first was know, where am I looking for the setup and what is my bias? And I gave you guys the fucking levels. I gave you the juice. And we'll do the exact same thing on the 15-minute that we did on Bitcoin. We'll do the exact same thing. All the way down to the 15-minute. There's the 15-minute block. Where did the top form? Exactly in, I'm going to delete the big ones. That is the 15-minute order block. The absolute fucking top. What do we have? Swing failure pattern. A breakdown and a retest of the breakdown level. All I'm showing you is that you can dial this thing in as much as you want. You can enter this on the 12-hour. You can enter this on the hourly, the 4-hour, the 15-minute. But the first thing you need is, where am I paying attention? Where am I looking? And I gave you that last week. I gave you guys the mid-range, and I gave you guys the order block right here at the mid-range to pay attention to. Now you have an area to focus on, where if we come here and show bearishness, I now have a bias. It's to the downside. I now have an area of price where I'm focusing and looking for my setup. And it's up to you to determine what time frame you want to take that setup on. Are you trading it on the 12-hour, the 4-hour, the 30-minute, the 15-minute? Each setup is going to have each time frame is going to have its own setup. And it's going to have its own profit-taking objectives. Lower time frame, you're going to have closer profit-taking objectives than on the higher time frame, because your setup is going to have a tighter risk reward. The distance to your stop is closer. You don't need to hold it to range lows. You can get 3 or 4R within this range, right? Whereas on the 12-hour chart, you were probably targeting down here. So I gave you all of these fucking levels. I just broke down from the 3-month down to the 15-minute on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I showed you the short setups that I talked about last week. They played out to perfection, right? So hopefully this has been educational for you guys. I really hope so. I think I did a really good job explaining this shit. But you guys tell me. I feel like it was good. So real quick, what is the plan for Ethereum? Above here is the long, right? Regain the quarterly open, regain the mid-range, make a new high, then we'll get bullish. Right now, we've just made a 12-hour lower low, right? So I need to see a reason to get long. What would a reason to be to get long here? We just made a lower low on the H12. So I see the only reason really for me to get long is if we come down and test the lows here. So this is the range low right here, right? This is your range low. So again, come down here, show bullishness, run and reclaim. Or if we reclaim this 12-hour low here, this becomes a potential deviation. That could be the long trigger. Okay? So there's a couple long scenarios for you. That one, and then this one, or the run of the range low. What is the short setup? Because this short played out already. We just made a lower low here. If we come up here and bearishly retest this and then reject, just like I showed you to look for shorts based on this, you do the exact same thing here. If we have some weakness in here, that is where you go and look for a short setup for a move down to the range low. All right, I think that's it, guys. I'm going to take a look at the chat, answer any questions, but I think that this was a really good fucking stream. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. I think there was a lot of fucking alpha in this one. So I'm just going to grab my laptop. This is how ghetto I am. I got my MacBook here for the chat because I only have one monitor. It's amazing that I'm still profitable. All right. Discord link is in my Twitter bio. Go to my Twitter. Click on my yacht. There's the Discord. What's up, Rob? Trader XO. Trading is zero sum. I completely agree. If we go into 30K, it could be a 6-month potential bear cycle for cryptos. Would be a great buying opportunity. I mean, sure. Again, how do you know where we're going to go, right? You don't know. You don't know how long we'll be down there. There's no way to know for sure, right? So just play level to level. Focus on the chart. Forget everything else. Thoughts on ATR for stops? I did learn about ATRs for stops from like Tom Dante, I think. It's not something I personally use. I know it's very relevant for Forex. I haven't really experimented it with crypto. If you ever want to know if a concept works, try it out, right? Start using it on your charts and start trying it out and see if you have any success. The way that you build your edge and you build your strategy is through repetition and testing and experimenting and shit like that. Why do people that get here late cry about the bear market? Because they didn't buy last bear market. They bought near the highs, and so a bear market means they're going to be underwater for a long ass time. People on Twitter are paid by hedge funds to shill. Could be very well true. I've been in an 8x short since 40K. I've removed my investment. What should I do now? The target is 28.5. Sorry, one sec here. I don't know, bro. I mean, what was your target? If you've already locked in your risk, right, is what I assume you're saying. So it's a risk-free trade. Take some profit, trail your stop down perhaps, and ride that trend as long as you can. There's lots of different ways that you can manage the trade. Slim, love your streams, man. Thank you so much, Slim. Appreciate that. Get that passive income and wait a few years. You'll be really happy. Putting money in that you don't need and stop whining. Sure. Isn't the ETH quarterly open at 1919? I don't think so, unless I'm crazy here. This is the quarterly open. The 3-month chart is the quarterly chart. That is your quarterly open. So I don't know where you're getting 1919 from. Because if I was wrong, my entire tirade would sound pretty silly. Mayne, the real big brother who cares. That's right. I care about you, bro. I promise. So Dan Pena was right. I don't know. What did he say? This is fire. Nice ranges, Neck. Thanks, bro. Suzu said he purposely doesn't post anything bearish because of the backlash. Well, there you go, right? So you know that he only posts bullish shit. You also got to remember, right? Suzu is Suzu. That is a hard fucking name to say. Or maybe I'm just racist. I don't know. Suzu has a brand, a hedge fund, a lot of things going for him that make his decision-making process different than yours, right? So keep that in mind. Do you pay attention to open interest, liquidity pools, and funding rates? Are they helpful to look at for Confluence? They can be, right? You can use open interest to determine when volatility might happen, when we might have a major move coming. Liquidity pools in terms of on the charts. I mean, are you just saying above highs and lows, or are you saying like on the the charts, like the footprint charts or whatever, where you can see where orders are sitting? Because if that's the case, I don't do that. Funding rates, I mean, sure. The one problem with funding rates is like, how long have we had people saying over the last 2 months being like funding, paying longs, bro, or paying shorts are paying to, be short, right? And, so negative funding and like, we're at the range lows and you're not buying, yet we keep not pumping, right? So there's absolutely value to that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't use it as like the be all end all, right? Stop doing barbell curls. They cause that. Dude, I know. I don't know what the fuck I did, man. I was so annoyed because I just healed like a wrist injury, and then now I have this weird injury where it's like it hurts a little bit, but when I close my fist, like, and I touch here, it's fucking painful. And then when I do like a curl, even with the easy bar, when I do a curl, as soon as I get here, it hurts, and when I let go of the bar, it hurts. It sucks. Lateral epicondylitis. I told you on Twitter, my main. I gave you exercise ideas to rest, and ice will not solve that. DM me that, Ernie, and I'll take a look. I'm in my 50s, and I can still work out like in my 20s thanks to modern technology of PRP. They remove blood and put in a centrifuge to extract pellets and put it back into damaged muscles. Okay, DM me that, bro, and I'll look into it when I get home. Won't work muscles if damaged or torn. What do you think of the chance of ETH bouncing on the Q1 open? I don't know. Q2 open. I have no idea. I mean, I would like it to get above there, obviously, because then it will go up. For you younger folk, that is fine and dandy, but when you're much older, healing capabilities dramatically slow down. I am old, bro. I'm old as shit. I'm pretty sure I've got the Q2 open. Like, this is the quarterly open, guys. I'm not crazy. It's right here. This is the open of a new quarterly candle. The open is 22.75. So I don't know what chart you're looking at, bro, but it's fucking wrong. Hate to break it to you, dog. Okay, Mayne, do you hold a bunch of equities? Not right now. I do have some money in the markets, but not a ton. Yeah, listen, if you don't want to trade this type of price action because you think it's choppy and bullshit, don't, right? There haven't been really a ton of high time frame trades, but this is a 12-hour signal, right? I don't care if you're this is a banger signal. Maybe you don't get many of them, right, in this range, but that's a banger right there. If you have weakness and pain grip, it gets worse after you wake up. Shut the fuck up, go to the doctor. You have a tendonitis problem. Fuck, that sucks. What do you mean by show weakness? Exactly what I just explained for the last hour and a half, right? This is showing weakness. We saw the SFP, the breakdowns, all that stuff I went in on the lower time frame and showed you. That is exactly what I mean. And the same thing on Bitcoin here, right? This is showing weakness at a level, right? Breakdown, bearish retest, that is showing weakness. SFPs, all that shit. What do you think about the upcoming upgrades to ETH in August and BTC in November? Can it be enough catalyst to bring interest to the crypto markets again? Maybe. I mean, the double bubble theory would suggest that, you know, if we're going to follow that 2013 fractal, that the market will rally again in the fall. Maybe that's true. That would be sweet. You're a god amongst Mayne. Thank you, Biscuit Brains. Hey, Mayne, sorry for the next question, but we have a weekly SFP in BTC. What do you think it could mean? Where do you see the weekly SFP, bro? Are you talking about this? Because I would argue that that's played out a little bit. I mean, you could say, okay, maybe we have something like this playing out, right? But I would argue that this retest was the retest of the SFP low, right? But you could argue, yeah, maybe we bounce from here and you can put your stop down here and you can fill longs into here, right? You could definitely do this. Come on, where is the friggin' thing? How am I so bad at TradingView? I've been using it for so friggin' long. Like, let's assume you just fill longs into here and you're going to target, I don't know, the highs. There's a trade to be made here, sure. But I would argue that this is the SFP and this is the retest. So I don't really want to buy the next test, but possible. Could do something like this. But right now the weekly looks pretty hideous if you ask me. But it's early. It's early in the week. Remember that. It's only Tuesday. All right. All right, guys. How do you know Guy Berryman? I met him when I was living in LA. We did some business together. Okay, guys. I'm going to end the video here because we're getting a little long in the tooth. It's been an hour and a half. So yeah. Feel free to DM me on Twitter if you got any questions. I will post a link to the Discord on Twitter. It seems like some people are having issues joining, so I'll post a link to my Discord on Twitter. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Okay, I'll look at Axis. And then I'll end it. I know I said I would do that, and this thing is going insane. Okay, so here is the issue with this. So no more chart requests, guys. This is all I'm gonna chart this and I'm gonna end the stream, okay? So here's the issue with Axis, okay? And the main issue is that I don't own any of it and I didn't long it. That's issue number one. Issue number two is the market as a whole is extremely weak, right? If you look at Bitcoin, you look at Ethereum, most altcoins look like shit, right? Like, look at my poor baby Rune, you know, Soul. Like, a lot of these altcoins, like, oh my god. Look at Oxy. Look at Ray, right? Like, a lot of these altcoins look real fucking bad, okay? They look real fucking bad. But then you have this one altcoin that is going insane. So how would you know that this altcoin, which just until recently looked like every other altcoin, it looked like shit, right, was going to do this. You didn't know unless you had some sort of information. I have no idea. I haven't been paying attention enough because I've been on vacation for already 2 weeks to why this coin is pumping. I don't know what it does. I don't know if there was an announcement. I don't know. I'm sure someone knew something. Obviously, some people did. How could you have gotten involved? Like everything that we've looked at here, right? All we have is high time frame resistance. Like, what are the chances that you long this? Probably pretty low, right? Like, let's be honest, probably pretty low. But maybe you longed a reclaim of this low, right? So did you long here? I mean, probably not. Did you long this? Maybe, right? You saw a big spike below a low and then we reclaimed the low. Sure, that's potentially possible, but there's not really something on here where I would have just, based on how the whole market looks, I wouldn't have longed this, right? I like this idea a lot more. Below this low and then we consolidated above, right? And it gave you a swing failure pattern right here before it launched. So sure, but the problem is most of the market looks like shit, and then we're gonna have instances where random coins are gonna pump huge, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck, how did I miss it? It's like a game of musical chairs or hot potato, right? And you don't want to be in the wrong one. So my understanding is that Axis is some sort of like NFT video game platform. So there has to be some sort of inside information on whoever created this coin or whatever that is having this reaction. I think based on the whole market being so shitty, some people had to know something for this to go this high. But yeah, to get long down here doesn't seem realistic. But to get long during this uptrend, absolutely realistic. Because if you look at the lower time frames, once we broke out of this long consolidation, right? So here's the breakout point right here. Once we broke out of this long consolidation, this is now in a trend. And now you are just trend trading. Move up, retest the mid-range, continuation. Right? Move up, retest the mid-range, continuation. Move up, come just shy of the mid-range, continuation. So you could argue that until this thing stops trending, you can keep longing it, right? Like, will there be an epic short on this thing soon? 100%. 100% there will be an epic short on this thing soon. But why guess? Why? What if it's here? What if it was here and you're wrong? So if this is the temporary top, I probably want to look to long this thing around 20 bucks for another leg. And the only reason to short this is when it breaks this trend. Right now, this thing is trending super clean. So why try and bet against it? Don't fight the flow, right? If this thing breaks down, it's going to be obvious. I would argue on the 12-hour, right? There's your order block, which is in line with that fib that I pulled. This is your next long opportunity. If it breaks this low, right? If it comes down, does this, now, yeah, absolutely start shorting this thing all the way back down. But until it does that, there's no reason to assume that this just doesn't keep making higher highs and higher lows. And once it stops doing that, that's when you can short it. So don't fight the trend, right? Don't fight the trend. Let the market show you when it's ready to turn, and that's when you can start shorting it. But yeah, don't try and swim against stream here just to be like, I shorted the fucking top. I'd way rather wait for it to show me it wants to go down as opposed to try and fight the only trending asset in the space. I'd be way more interested in longing this thing here for another leg up than I would be shorting it right here, unless it gives me a reason to get short, which would be a break in market structure, right? All these lows are intact until they're not. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I feel like this was a really good one. All right, I'm going to sign off here, guys. This was a really fun stream. I hope you guys learned something. Please subscribe to the YouTube, like the videos, retweet the videos and the tweets. I would love to get these videos start getting, we get somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 views. I would love to get to a point where we're getting 10,000 views on these streams. It'd be amazing. So I hope you guys learned something. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. Thank you for tuning in as usual. Shout out to Bybit for sponsoring the streams, and I will be back at home for the next week's stream in my regular station. We're going to have the soundboard back. We're going to have the higher def camera, the green screen, and we're going to crush it the rest of the summer. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will talk to you later.